Hello, everybody, wherever you may be, from coast to coast and sea to shine and sea. Welcome back to Ham Radio Live, where the world comes to talk about radio. On today's show, amateur extra questions and answers to help you pass that test. Plus, field days coming up next weekend. We'll have some tips and rules for you to help you there as well. It's June 16, 2022, and from around the world, wherever you may be, welcome back. This is Ham Radio Live.
When the sun comes up on a sleepy little town down around San Antonio, and the folks are rising for another day, round about their home. The people of the town are strange, and they're proud of where they came. Where you talking about the time to grow? Time to grow.
1973 Doobie Brothers.
Well, the pizza and the teacher,
Can you believe it?
oh, they are caution. They are the talk of the
Next year, the song will be 50 years old. Oh my God.
when the sun goes falling
And I
down.
remember, when it was new.
Say that the father's
Oh my
insane.
goodness. One more chorus. This is China Grove by the Doobie Brothers starting us off today on Ham Radio Live.
We're talking about the time to grow. Time to grow.
From around the world, wherever you may be, what do you say we get together and talk about radio for about an hour? Away we go. Hi, everybody. Welcome back to the Shack in Oregon. A very happy Thursday to you. Friday was the dateline. We made it. My goodness. I had hoped today would be the day we would hit our normal time frame, like at noon Pacific. Nah, just wasn't meant to be today. So I'm sorry we're late, but we are here, and we got some help for people that might be interested in doing field day this year. Some rules, some regulations, what's going on. There are some big changes this year, by the way, to field day, and we'll talk about that. Plus, if you've thought about licensing up to amateur extra from the general exam here in the States, I'll have some help for you there as well. We'd like to welcome you to the show. We first of all try and find out who's coming in first, second, third, and so on. So we'll figure it out right now.
Who's on first? What's on second? I don't know's on third.
First in from, my goodness gracious, Emerald Isle of Ireland. He made it in first all the way from Ireland. That's worth something. My goodness gracious. Get that man a big beep beep. Kevin, welcome to the show from the Emerald Isle. Wow. It's nice to have you here tonight. Thanks, Kev. I know it's late your way. Thank you for being here. Second up, look at this. It's also another European. Is that cool or what? This is amazing. Chris, Mike 0, Oscar Papa X-Ray. I'm sorry, Colin. Excuse me. Thanks for being here, Colin. A very happy evening to you as well. Thank you for coming back to the show. It's nice to see you, buddy. Thank you for being here. Jenna, welcome. November 4, Juliet Echo Hotel. First timer and welcome to you. My name's Larry. It's nice to meet you. Thanks for coming. Andy Cowley, 2 Echo 0 Romeo Echo Echo. Welcome to the show. It's nice to have you, as well as William Crawford. Good to have you back. Nice new emoji, catching some fish. That a boy. My brother Bob, courtesy WIFI, and here in building, which is great. Welcome home, Bob. Good to have you. Sorry for my face, the way it looks. This is just from the dermatologist. A good example for you to wear sunscreen and a big hat. Just do that. You don't want to go do, have a face carving every 6 months. Andy, welcome back. Alpha 0 Whiskey X-Ray in the building, and hello to you, mate. Good to see you. Gosh, good group today. It's good to see you all. Rudolph Smith comes back from Holland, Papa Delta 2, Sierra Romeo, Sierra Rudolph. It's always great to see you. Thanks for coming. Andy New, Mike 7 Charlie Union November, soon to be an intermediate licensee in the UK. I have it. I know it. It's going to happen, Andrew. It will. It'll happen. Hi, Roger and Molly. Kilo Juliet 7 Lima X-Ray and plus K9. Roger and Molly are here. Good to see you guys both. Also, Winan joins us all the way from Africa. To be specific, Namibia, all the way in southwestern Africa. Wow, Winan, it's great to have you. Good evening to you there in the beautiful country of Africa and Namibia. I just am so blown away. You come here all the way from Namibia. Thank you, and thanks for what you did to try to help get the urban beam on the roof too. That was really special. Not many people in the world would do such a thing, but you did. And I thank you sincerely for that. You're a good friend. Kevin from the UK, good to see you, man. Mike 0, Mike Charlie Lima. Good show today. We'll have a lot of fun. Casey Jarvis, welcome. Kilo Charlie 7 ABC, one of the coolest call signs in the entire world of amateur radio. That's true. Okay, let's try and help you to get your amateur radio license. It's not hard. The motivation really is yours to just contact a big club like the American Radio Relay League. They're really good at helping people, and they can help you to get close to a local amateur radio club that's going to help you learn about what amateur radio is, learn how to pass the test, right? And get you maybe on the air as well. The first step, just contact a big club like the ARRL. Find them online at www.arrl.org. Please hit the contact us bar. Let them know where you're located. They'll send you an email back with a local amateur radio club to you. Contact that club, get to know them, and man, you're just footsteps from being right on the airwaves and joining us here in amateur radio. If you're coming here from the WRMI show, CQ Calling powered by ICOM, want to welcome you. Yep, I really do. CQ Callings today, by the way, it's heard worldwide. It's powered by ICOM. For the love of ham radio, thanks very much to ICOM for sponsoring the show. It's already been to the South Pacific, but next week, if you're in that Hawaii area, South Pacific, Australia, New Zealand, the Cook Islands, perhaps Indonesia, the Philippines, you'll hear the show on 7780 kilohertz at 0815 UTC. Europe, North Africa, and the Middle East get the show twice. First today, 2015 UTC on 15770 kilohertz, and tomorrow on 2115 UTC at 7730 kilohertz. It's going to be a good show. Hope you enjoy it. North America gets the show Thursday, 7:30 p.m. Eastern on 93.95 kilohertz, and the Caribbean, Central and South America have the show Thursdays. That's tonight, 8:15 Eastern on 99.55 kilohertz. And that show, by the way, is simulcast on the internet stream at www.wrmi.net. We've got an email address if you'd like to reach out to me. It's cqhamradiolive@gmail.com. And we have a pretty special Discord page as well at ham-radio-live. Please feel free and join us. There'll be a link directly to it at the top of the description section of this video, okay? Have a show question today. What's something you wish you knew more about in radio? Now, this is a tough one. I mean, really, because it means you're asking someone to tell you a weakness. And it's not that way. It's not meant that way. It's always good. I'll share with you. Okay, I'll be the first one. I wish I knew more about learning Morse code. I'm trying. I truly am. And the problem I have is timing. It's just time to do it. I wish I knew more about how to do that. You know, how to be able to listen and memorize and get everything. That's my weakness. I'd like to find out what you say as well. Let me know in the comment section, and we'll make it part of today's show. Your weather today. Powered by ICOM. ICOM for the love of ham radio. This is a nice A1A. It really is. A beautiful A1A, actually. This would be what they were hoping to see, you know, at the top of the solar cycle. Honestly, this would be basically the view that they would hope you would see, because the forecasters had said this is going to be kind of a bummer cycle, a bad cycle, kind of like 24 was. It's already far outseating for 24. It's already there. And we're really only in this thing about 2.5 years or so. So we've got a lot of time still to go to be able to get that solar cycle up and really see just how special this solar cycle is going to be. So that A1A is really good. Take a look why. You see the various sunspot regions all over the sun, and that's really important, because when we have that, we not only get quite a few sunspots that charge up our SFI, but we also get coronal mass ejections, which help to jack up our SFI as well. You look at the little backside of the sun view that we get, you can see there are some more sunspots coming. There are quite a few on the front of the sun right now, 8 in total. Your coronal hole map 90 is moving away towards the west limb, and things are going to settle down for us in terms of that solar wind. Magnetosphere view, this is a great view of just how those sunspots are arranged on the sun. Look at that. 8 sunspot regions currently visible. Current SFI is down 6, but this is just a small little bump. Promise you. Wait till tomorrow. Your SSN number, that's big. That's at 149. It's up 28. The other number that's really positive is your area number. It's up 250. It's a big number. That SFI is going to come up big time tomorrow. Wait and see. Solar flare detection, we're getting some bumps here into the M-class flare territory. There are 8 sunspots now facing Earth, which is good. KP index, this is noise floors, and they are getting quieter. Expect them to continue to drop through tonight and into tomorrow. Remember, On the K index, a K2 is considered quiet, but a K3 is a little bit loud, okay? We've seen those loud conditions over the last few days, but they are going to be getting quieter in that K2, 1, and K0 area. Next 3 days looks like today will be the last day of the major noise in the bands. Tomorrow and Saturday should be much better days for noise floors. QRZ conditions, SFI 140, solar number is 149. That's the sunspot number there. A index is high at 20. All right, and your K index is 2. Let me explain why things are the way they are and why we have a little bit of a hiccup in conditions. So the coronal hole map here, you see number 90, that's facing Earth and it's coming pretty quickly. The actual speed from that coronal hole is 574.4 kilometers per second. The problem is it's hitting the Earth at a southern pointed magnetic field. So the BZ latitude's a minus 1.6. Now we want that to go to positive, and it will. It will go positive later today. It might fluctuate. But what this means is it could give you some QSB on the bands. We could see some pretty big fade coming on your HF bands today. 6, 4, and 2 meter E-skip open today. That's good news. HF band conditions, I think we do just a little better than that. I really do. Your Kilo Charlie 2 golf map. Let's get to that real quick. Hold on a second. This went to the wrong place. I didn't expect it to do that, so we'll just hit you right here. You see the radio for just a moment, and we'll just go over to a blank screen and show you the Kilo Charlie 2 golf map. This is current. Right now in North America, 21, right about the U.S.-Canadian border. 19, though, as you head towards Montreal. It's a little bit low up in Canada, right about the 18 megahertz area. Up in Alaska, 17 out of Fairbanks. So lower conditions. We're seeing much lower conditions than we have in the past. 23 right now. New Orleans, 24 around Dallas, 19 up near Montreal, and then 20 in the northeast corner of the United States, right around Maine. We're going to see the MUF come up, though. You're going to see 10 meters come up. As sunset comes up, you see how the yellow area pitches north? That's why we're going to get 10 meters later today. So expect some 10 meters later in the day here in North America. South America looks pretty good. We're seeing 32 megahertz right there in the northern tip of Brazil. As you head south towards Uruguay and south of there, starts to dip down to 26 and 24 megahertz. But we're starting to see a little shift now in the MUF, and it's going to start shifting north. In Europe right now, 29 out of Portugal, 26 South Spain. We got 20 megahertz in France, 20 megahertz as well in Great Britain, 21 in Germany, heading out towards the Far East, 18 in Tokyo, and the wonderful country of Australia is just waking up, 9 megahertz near Perth, right at the very northernmost tip where Darwin is. They'll be on 10 meters within about an hour and a half from now. Expect about 10 meter operation as well in Sydney and Melbourne later on today. Today's solar ranking will be an 8. Got good conditions, really do today. And speaking of solar cycle 25, here is the progression as where things are. See, your solar sunspot number was expected to be right about 110. That's where it was. Now, take a look at today's sunspot number, 149. All right. Now, remember, what we have to have is 3 days of an SFI about 150, okay, and a 3-day period where we have low noise floors. You're going to have excellent conditions then. We're getting really close to that. Watch this tomorrow as we see our bands come up, as SFI come up and noise floors drop and A index come down. You're going to have amazing conditions, really good. Your ham and shortwave forecast. SFIs continue to increase through the weekend, forecasting 160 plus by Saturday. Some QSB today due to the negative BZ latitude. Noise floors, though, that continue to decrease by tomorrow. That's great news. Voice bands for the Northern Hemisphere, 20, 17, 15, 12, and 10 towards sunset. In the south, you've got the same, 20, 17, 15, 12, and 10. Equatorial latitudes, you get everything, 20, 17, 15, 12, and 10. Excuse me. Data modes, 30 to 10 meters in all latitudes. Nighttime, lowering noise floors tonight. So tonight should be when the noise floors start to get quieter. Nighttime handband openings will be 160, 80, 75, 60, 40, 30. Best EX on your maximum usable frequency at sunset, then work your lower band down until you reach 40 and 80 meters overnight. Shortwave bands today 31, 25, 22, and 19 meters for our shortwave people. And our wonderful shortwave listeners tonight should be able to hear 120, 90, 75, and 60, 49, 41, 31, 25, 22, and a 100% chance of the 19 meter band for about 3 hours after sunset. In fact, you might hear it past 1 o'clock in the morning. Seriously, SFI is high and you've got the peak of summer. And so those two combined, when you get to right about the peak of the solar activity for your northern hemisphere where it hits, summer, and you've got a great SFI, you're going to hear shortwave like crazy. And amateur radio calls too. You could have 20 meters theoretically work close to about 2 a.m. tonight. No kidding. The way conditions are today, 20 should be your go-to band right about sunset. Happy Thursday. It's nice to have you guys part of the show. Good group today. It's nice to have you guys all here. Casey Jarvis, he'd like to know more about basic electronics and circuitry. It's interesting. I never win anything. I don't. But at the CPAC Hamfest, I won this, which is interesting. It's the Handbook for Radio Communications by the Arrl. This is the 2022 edition. Man, this is stacked full of stuff. And I'm interested in either giving that away here on the channel or, making some way that I can give it to somebody who might need one. So I'll figure that out. I've also got maybe, some help coming from a local radio club that I'd like to join, and maybe they could use it. I don't know. We'll see. Casey, that's a very good part. I would like to know more about that too. Thank you for adding that to the show for today's show question. That's good. That's a good one. And he's answering this right here. Today's topic question was something you wish you knew more about in radio. And it's, it's one of those things. Everybody's got their own thing, right? But wine in this is great. In Namibia, whiskey, where they hamsters, we lions. Well done, sir. Thank you, Winen. Oh, that's great. That's great. Hang on a second. I'm going to take a look at something here. Adam, good to see you from Central Florida. November Yankee 5 Echo. I hope we'll get your picture in today. Great picture of lightning for Central Florida. Ooh. Andy says 106 heat index, and I'm thinking of the NHL playoffs. Great. Oh, it's funny. Jenna, November 4, Juliet Echo Hotel. I am a newish ham. No, she said, hold on. Sorry. I'm a newish timer. LOL. Hold on. That's worth something. Have seen one full week of live streams and have finally made it to live. Jenna, it's really a pleasure to meet you. I mean that. Thank you sincerely for coming to the show today. It's an honor for me to say hello to you live. Thanks, Jenna. Isn't that cool? This is a radio show for people who love radio around the world. And to me, that's the best part. I love the part of getting to meet people and spending time. That's fun for me. So, Jenna, truly, it's an honor to have you. Thank you for coming. All right. Don't forget today's topic question. What would you like to get better in amateur radio? Let me know on the comment section. We'll make it part of the show. BM, hello from Texas. That's Brandon. Call sign Kilo India 5 Victor Union Foxtrot. Brandon, it's good to have you. Welcome back to the show. Truly, nice to have you back. Yeah. And Andy, he says, takes time to learn code and hair. Lots of hair. Perfect. I'm dead. I have no hope. Oh, boy. Kevin in England, I wish I knew more about antennas and small gardens. He's moving soon. Bigger house, but smaller garden. Oh, boy. Well, talk to Callum. Callum's good. His DX Commander will probably work really good for you, I think. Carlos, good to see you a few minutes late, but hey, I have power now, so I had to make sure everything was connected. Bless your heart. Good to see you. Carlos is coming to the channel too, which is going to be a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to having Carlos come. Winan says, cut the house up, stay in a tent, and build the whole site. Antennas. Oh, jeez. Oh, what we would do if we had the opportunity, right? Martin, welcome. Holland is here. Papa Echo 9, Tango India Golf. I know you're probably working right now, sir, and I appreciate you coming. Martin, thank you for coming to tonight's show. Jenna says that she wishes she knew more about propagation. It's very interesting and sometimes mysterious. Propagation is interesting when you think about it. And when we show you the Kilo Charlie 2 golf map, it really is a maximum usable frequency map used for propagation purposes and where things are in the world. So a good place to see where you're at and also what, megahertz are coming your way to work what meter band. So that's kind of neat. Like right now here where I'm at in the Northwestern United States, 21 megahertz. So 15 meters is the top of what I can do. But where can you go, right? Take a look on the map. It's always fun to see. That's really good. And Jenna, thank you for coming here. It's a wonderful question. Thank you very much. Winan says, I don't understand Murphy and the bands. I don't think I understand Murphy either.
No!
I got to think on that one, Winan. I really will. Thank you. Winan says, I have to tell something good and bad today. All right. Number one, got 6 meter contests like contacts like flies. Well, yeah, you're in Namibia. Of course you have. Cliff Volts, welcome. Whiskey Delta 4, Oscar Bravo Papa. I'm waiting for the end of, oh, here we go. But even fell off my chair seeing Victor Echo 1 Papa Zulu. Well done, Winan. You see, that's all the way to Canada from, South Africa. So that's a big call. It's pretty good. Welcome, Ishmael. Good to see you, buddy. And 10 meters is roll. Of course it's rolling. It is. And you're in the tropics, man. See, that's the thing. Ishmael is so blessed because if you're tropic to tropic right now, you've got 10 meters earlier in the day and you're working, the length of where 10 meters is going to work. The good news is you're able to do it. The bad news is a lot of places north can't work it with you very well, unless they've got directional antennas. That does help. But if you don't, it's not going to be workable. So good to work work within the tropics and stuff, and sometimes a little north and south. We got to get that 10 meter band north. We just have to. Hopefully coming soon. Want to welcome Ron, Victor Alpha 3, Foxtrot Union Charlie. Welcome to the show. Good to see you, as well as Dale, Kilo India 5, Tango Sierra Foxtrot. Nice to see you as well. Ishmael says, my noise floor is terrible. I'm 40. What can I do to decrease it? Watch yesterday's show. Great show with Raleigh. ZL1BQD talked about that. He talked about just simply placing a wire maybe about a foot off the ground going all the way around your back fence and using that as a receive antenna. Good question. Good question, my friend. All right, terminal velocity. That's Carlos. Time to get his FT8 rig set up. Go have fun, man. Winan says, so what I wanted more to learn, how can you be lucky and unlucky at the same time understanding? I wish I know more how to do Murphy works and propagation together. I don't know. Winan, I give you credit. I do, because what some people don't know is Namibia, the general language is German. It really is. A lot of German speakers there. And he's speaking English very well. And he's typing it out. And that's much more than I could ever do. Winan, I'm really impressed with you. Thank you. I'm trying to understand everything, but I get the heart of what you're saying. Thank you. Thank you. It's really quite a talent, really. Andy New says, I'd like to learn more about digital modes, and I can see those being a lot in the future in amateur radio for sure. Welcome, Rodney, Pop Alpha 9, Romeo Whiskey. Folks, we got a lot to do, and I'd love to say hello to all of you. William is here. Good to see you. November 5, Echo Victor, and Stian Bjorsvik, Lima Alpha 5, Lima Tango Alpha. Okay, we got to get into this real quick because I had a request for this, okay? We had a request yesterday from Rob in Los Angeles. He had a question about Field Day. Now, Field Day is done by the American Radio Relay League only once a year. Some people think Winter Field Day is American Radio Relay League sponsored, but it's not. The one in June is. It's always the last weekend in June. And there's a reason I don't have a guest the last weekend in June. Because doggone, I'm going to do Field Day this year. It's one of my favorite events to do. Here is a primer. Now, keep in mind, there really hasn't been videos for this year that have been done by the Arrl at all. None. But the one they used last year was pretty good. And it's kind of still relevant, but not all the way. I'll go over the rules. I'll go over the classes. I'll go over the exchanges, all of that stuff with you as soon as we see this quick video. It's really well done, but it's for last year's Field Day, produced for the American Radio Relay League. Hope you enjoy it.
Well, ARRL Field Day is here again. It's ham radio's open house. Every June, more than 35,000 hams throughout North America set up temporary transmitting stations in public places to demonstrate ham radio's science, skill, and service to our communities and our nation. It's so much more than just another contest. It combines public service, emergency preparedness, community outreach, and technical skills, all in a single event. Field Day has been an annual event since 1933 and still remains the most popular event in amateur radio. On the fourth weekend of June of each year, radio amateurs gather with their clubs, groups, or simply with friends to operate from home or remote locations. Field Day is a picnic, a campout, practice for emergencies, an informal contest, and most of all, fun. It's also a time where many aspects of amateur radio come together to highlight our many roles. While some will treat it as a contest, other groups use the opportunity to practice their emergency response capabilities. It is an excellent opportunity to demonstrate amateur radio to the organizations that we might serve in an emergency, as well as the general public. For many clubs, ARRL Field Day is one of the highlights of their annual calendar. The contest part is simply to contact as many other stations as possible, and to learn to operate our radio gear in abnormal situations and less than optimal conditions. However, traditional Field Day operations were compromised last year due to the COVID-19 pandemic. Since we are still grappling with restrictions and safety practices this year, hams have continued to do their part in stopping the spread of this disease by limiting the size of gatherings, by wearing masks, hand washing, and by observing social distancing. That makes a traditional group Field Day activity much more difficult to do safely. ARRL, which sponsors and organizes Field Day each year, has altered the rules temporarily to allow more single operators to operate at-home stations. The rules now include plenty of options to either participate safely in groups or for members to participate using their own radios at their own locations. That location may be your ham shack at home, your backyard, a public park, a farm field, or a church parking lot. Anywhere you have the owner's permission and where you are able to follow the health guidelines or guidance from your local government or health professionals. Field Day starts Saturday, June 26, 2021, at 1800 hours UTC, and ends Sunday the 27th at 2059 hours UTC. Field Day contacts may be made on 160, 80, 40, 20, 15, and 10 meter HF bands, as well as all VHF and UHF and above amateur radio frequencies. Bands not listed here are off limits for Field Day operations, as are all FM repeaters. Field Day is open to all amateurs in the areas covered by the ARRL, RAC field organizations, and countries within IARU Region 2. Remember, Field Day is not a contest. It is an operating exercise. It is, however, a great way to get introduced to contesting without the pressure of actually jumping into a real contest. When you can start setting up depends upon your class and other particulars. The complete set of rules, regulations, and contest scoring are way too involved and detailed to be covered here in this short video. Go to the ARRL website at www.arrl.org and search Field Day 2021 for a complete set of rules and regulations. But I'll go over some of the more basic setups that you'll probably employ. Hams may operate as one or more persons at home on commercial power or alternate power like solar or batteries.
Okay, this part is really important for people that maybe are experiencing their first Field Day or maybe they haven't done it for a while. This is going to help define the classes that you might be in for Field Day 2022. Again, I realize this is from last year. However, the ARRL did not put out one for 2022. So this is what we have to work with, and I'll go over the rules and classifications. I'll also do the exchange map with you as well. But let's follow the rest of this to find out maybe what class you may be in for Field Day 2022.
It is just as likely that you will be in some remote location like a park, backyard, parking lot, or farm field. Remember to get permission from any property owners and to stay cognizant of the local government and health professional requirements or restrictions. Your class is designated as a number and letter. The number is the number of transmitters operating simultaneously and on different bands under the same call sign. The letter determines the class, and the class of station you are operating depends upon the circumstances. For instance, Class A is a club or group operating from one location, using generators, batteries, or other emergency power to run all transmitters and receivers, and utilizing no permanent antennas or towers. This is what clubs have traditionally done in the past. Class B is one or two hams operating under one call sign from a remote location using generators, batteries, or other emergency power to run all transmitters and receivers. They can run multiple transmitters with no permanent antennas or towers, but must use only one call sign. This would be a great activity for ham radio club members that want to go outdoors, alone or with a buddy, put up a portable antenna, and operate from an emergency power source for a while. Class C is mobile stations. The radio, power source, and antenna must all be mounted in or on the vehicle. Everything must be able to move together. Class D is for home stations running commercial power. It's okay to operate field day from home, and because of a temporary rule waiver, you may count contacts with other Class D stations. The Arrl doesn't want field day to become a contest where everyone stays home and works everyone else at home, but the rules offer flexibility to participate fully from home if you choose. Class E is for home stations operating on emergency power. You can stay at home and operate any other field day stations as long as your transmitter and receiver are powered by a generator, battery, solar panel, or the like. Now this is important. Be aware of an additional temporary rule change for 2021. This year, Class D and Class E stations will be limited to 150 watts PEP.
Okay, this is not for this year's field day, so please disregard what he's here saying.
Output power. That means if you're operating from home on commercial power or emergency power, your transmitting power must be kept to 150 watts or less.
100 watts PEP or less for 2022. So keep that in mind. That is a big change for 2022 versus 2021. 100 watts maximum.
Class F is for stations operating from an emergency operations center, such as the Red Cross, firehouse, police station, or hospital. Let's look at some sample stations. One transmitter and one operator operating from a public park with portable antennas and emergency power would be Class 1B. With two transmitters on different bands would be 2B. One transmitter with one operator working from home with commercial power and your regular ham shack gear and antennas would be 1D. Two transmitters and two operators working from home with commercial power and your regular ham shack gear and antennas would be 2D. One transmitter with one operator working from home with battery, generator, solar, or any other non-commercial power and your regular ham shack gear and antennas would be 1E. Two transmitters and two operators working from home with battery, generator, solar, or any other non-commercial power and your regular ham shack gear and antennas would be 2E. One operator with all gear located in or on a vehicle would be 1C. There are more combinations and special caveats than we have time for here. Consult the ARRL website for more detail.
All right, so we're going to get there at this point in the show because Field Day is a big event. This is the largest radio event in the United States. Over 40,000 amateurs throughout North America go in Field Day. And Carlos had an interesting comment. He said, you know, it's too bad that this is the only time of year that clubs really get together to do stuff. And I love the fact what he says also. He says, so meanwhile, I just want to go to the park and go Field Day POTA. I agree. I'm going to do that. I'm actually just going to go up on a big old hill that's about 4,000 feet, and I'm going to work with the Alpha Hex Tenna, and I'm just going to play radio with that thing. Just have a ball with it. Let's go over the rules for Field Day 2022. There are some big changes this year, right? First of all, if you go to the American Radio Relay League Field Day website, you're going to come up with a big PDF that looks just like this. The main document starts, it says all Field Day stations are limited to a maximum of 100 watts PEP. That's it. Not 150 anymore, 100. And that is output regardless of operating class. So if you're Class D at home, you got to go 100 watts. Class D stations can contact any other station for QSO points. Media publicity bonus point criteria has changed, and we'll get into that. Also, individual stations can contribute their scores to an aggregate score of their club by supplying the club's name on the entry form at the time of entry. All right. The time period for Field Day 2022 is going to be June 25th, 26th. That video had as 26, 27, but that was last year. So this year it is next weekend, June 25th and 26th. Field Day is always the fourth full weekend of June. It begins at 1800 UTC on Saturday and ends at 2059 UTC on Sunday. Class A and B stations that do not begin setting up until 1800 UTC on Saturday may operate the entire 27-hour field day period. That's very important, okay? So if you're a Class A or B station, right, and you don't begin setting up until field day starts, you can go the whole 27 hours and work. Stations who begin setting up before 1800 UTC on Saturday may work only 24 consecutive hours, commencing when the on-air operations begin. So the 24 hours begins right when you start transmitting, okay? So that's the difference. If you set up, before 1800, you get 24 consecutive hours. If you are an AB station and you have not set anything up until 1800 UTC, you get 27 hours. And then finally, no Class A or B station may begin its setup earlier than 0 UTC on the Friday or Thursday afternoon or evening local time preceding the field day period. Cumulative setup time shall not exceed a total of 24 hours. I sure hope not. But there you go. That's basically the rules there. And it talks about your entry categories, and we're going to get into those today, as well as some exchanges. We're going to help Rob and some other new hams out for Field Day 2022. Class A. First, Club A. This is Class A. This is club or non-club portable, right? Club or a non-club group of 3 or more persons set up specifically for field day. Such stations may be located in places that are not regular station locations and must not use facilities installed for permanent station use or use any structure installed permanently for field day. A single licensee or trustee for the entry is responsible for the group entry. All equipment, including antennas, must lie within a circle whose diameter does not exceed 300 meters, which is 1,000 feet, to be listed Class A. All contacts must be made with transmitters and receiving operating independent of commercial power mains. So you're not going to be plugging in your stuff to the mains. Entrants whom for any reason operate a transmitter on or receiver from a commercial main for one or more contacts will be listed separately as Class A commercial. Class A stations are limited to 100-watt peak envelope power transmitter, output. Also, there is a Get on the Air club station again. They always have this. The GOTA station, any Class A or F entry whose transmitter classification is 2 or more transmitters may also operate one additional station without changing bands, right? And this is the other thing. They changed out their base category, okay? And this talks about the Get on the Air station, but uses its same exchange as its parent station. The Get on the Air station may be operated by any person licensed since the previous year's field day, regardless of license class, all right? So this goes over a little bit of that. It also talks here about the power output. If you go down to 41.1.4, the maximum transmitter output power for the Get on the Air station shall be 100 watts. If the primary field day group is claiming the QRP multiplier of 5, the maximum transmitter output power for the Get on the Air station must not exceed the total of 5 watts, okay? There's a free VHF station for all Class A entries, which is kind of cool, right? You've got, a combination of bands there above 50 megahertz without changing its basic entry classification. This station does not qualify for 100 points bonus as an additional transmitter. This station may be operated for the club's field day period, and all contacts count for QSO credit. It is operated using the primary call sign and exchange of the main field day group and is separate and distinct from the Get on the Air station, okay? Now, Class A battery, club or non-club portable, it's basically you're using a battery power. So you're just battery powering your radio. Okay? The QRP is 5 watts. Remember, there is a limit to 100 watts PEP this year for field day. So that's Class A battery. Class B, 1 or 2 person portable. A field day station set up and operated by no more than 2 persons. If you were a 1B, right, that would be 1 operator, Class B. If you were 2B, there's 2 operators, and it's 2B. That's part of your exchange. So they're going to be asking you for that part of your exchange as well as your location. And I'll get to the locations in just a moment because there's a lot to this to make sure you understand it, okay? Class B stations are limited to 100 watts peak envelope transmitter output, right? Class B battery, 1 or 2 people portable. A field day station set up and operated by no more than 2 persons. All contacts must be made using an output power of 5 watts or less, and the power source must be something other than commercial mains or motor-driven generator. Other provisions are the same for Class A, except it is not eligible for the Get on the Air or free VHF station. 1 and 2 person Class B battery entries will be listed separately. So that's for your Class B if you're going to go QRP. Class C mobile. Class C mobile stations in vehicles capable of, this is important, operating while in motion and normally operated in this manner. So if you got, you're thinking you're putting your radio up and your gigantic antenna up on your rig, that's not really legal because it's got to be able to be in motion the way you have it. This includes maritime and aeronautical mobile. If the Class C station is being powered from a car battery or alternator, it qualifies for emergency power but does not qualify for the multiplier of 5 as the alternator or battery system constitutes a motor-driven generating system. Class C stations also limited to 100 watts peak envelope power for 2022. Class D home stations. This is you just work on your radio right at home. That's plenty good to do, especially for people who might be concerned about the coronavirus still, right? Class D home stations, stations operating for permanent or licensed station locations using commercial power. And this is new for 2022. Class D may work all field day stations. Class D stations are now limited to 100 watts peak envelope power. So again, there you see another 100 watts. So everything's 100 watts or less. The next one is Class E. That's home stations emergency power. So the Class D is you plug it into the wall and you use your power from your house. Class E is a home station that works off of battery power, okay? Same as Class D, but using emergency power for transmitters and receivers. Class E may work field day stations. Class E stations are limited again to 100 watts peak envelope transmit power. Class F, emergency operations, okay? This is from like if you go to your fire department or possibly you're okay to, transmit from your police station, maybe from your city hall. This is where you'll do this. An amateur radio station in an established emergency operations center activated by a club or non-club group. This is Class F operation, all right? It must take place at an established EOC site, like a police station or fire center or something like that. Stations may utilize equipment and antennas temporarily or permanently installed at the EOC for this event. Now, this is a cool part. If you can get yourself to one of these places, you get to use their antenna. That's kind of nice, right? Also, it says entries will be reported accordingly to a number of transmitters in simultaneous operation. Class F stations are eligible for a free VHF station. At Class 2F, so 2 operators, Class F, they are also eligible for Get on the Air station. So a lot of bonus there if you're a Class F. And the reason for it is because it's field day, right? If you're at a public location for safety, it brings out people to see what ham radio is all about. That's why F is so important. Class F stations are limited to 100 watts peak envelope power. So that's Class F, all right? And this kind of goes over everything in terms of what, where you can go to and so forth and so on. Now, this is quite interesting because every year they have a bonus, all right? And at the bottom, you see it here. This is at 484. A Class F station may claim the emergency power bonus if emergency power is available at the EOC site. So that's kind of cool this year, isn't it? Also, the very bottom in bold, the emergency power source must be tested during the field day period, but you are not required to run the Class F operation under emergency power. So that's F. And now finally the exchanges, right? Stations in the American Radio Relay League and Radio Amateurs of Canada sections will exchange their field day operating class and ARRL/RAC section. Example, a 3-transmitter Class A station in Connecticut, which also has a Get on the Air station and the extra VHF station, would send 3 Alpha CT for Connecticut on Morse code or digital, or 3 Alpha Connecticut on phone. DX stations send operating class and the term DX. An example, 2 Alpha DX, all right? And so this is where it goes to the miscellaneous rules of field day and all of that. So it kind of gives you an idea. Now, the exchange, this is where it gets a little bit wonky, okay? And this is, you can see the worked all states map, and there's a reason I have this up. There are some states that have different areas, and it's important to know where your area locator, what it is, before you do field day. For example, Look at California. It has plenty of different places. Like I've worked tons of people through LAX, right? Or San Diego, or the Bay Area. So know which area you're in before you operate because there could be a difference. You might want to not think about saying Texas if you know that there are 4 different areas or 3 different areas of Texas that are involved here, all right? California, for example, look at this. There's a lot of areas in the state of California. So please know exactly where you're at before you operate. Very, very important, okay? Also, it talks about scoring. Scores are based on the total number of QSO points times the power multiplier corresponding to the highest power level under which any contact was made during the field day period plus the bonus points. All right. And the QSO points themselves, phone contacts count as 1 point, CW contact counts 2 points, digital. Look at this. Digital contacts count 2 points each. I can see a ton of people in digital right now and going, oh boy, I can do this and get bonus points. Your power multipliers are interesting. They're determined by the highest power output of any of your transmitters used during field day operation. For example, if all contacts are made using a power output of 5 watts or less, and if a power source other than commercial mains or motor-driven generator is used, battery, solar cells, water-driven generator, etc., the power multipliers can be 5. So that's fantastic. It really is. If all contacts are made using a power of 5 watts or less, but the power source is from a commercial main or from a motor-driven generator, the power multiplier is 2. So they incentivize you to use wind power or battery power to work field day. And the next one, if any of or all contacts, this is 7.2.3, if any or all contacts are made using an output power of up to 100 watts or less, the power multiplier is 2. All right. Now, new for 2022, power output cannot exceed 100 watts peak envelope power, period. There's not 150 anymore. There's no higher power. That's it this year. So that's the way field day works this year. Find out if you're in a large state like, say, Texas, or on the East Coast, like if you're in New York, or if you're in California, Florida. Those states have various different exchanges that you give depending upon your location. Contact your section manager or the American Radio Relay League to find out what your exchange will be. So there's a little bit about Field Day 2022. I hope you enjoyed that segment. I need a drink. A lot about that. And this is one of my most favorite contests to do because you're bringing your radio outside. And it's so much fun to answer questions. I really enjoy that part of the hobby. So for me, that's a lot of fun. Folks, don't forget, we do have a topic question for today's show. And that is, what would you like to get better at? What's something you wish you knew a little bit more about? Put it in the comment section and we will make it part of today's show. All right. Looking up at your comments to see if we've got anything that's added here. I want to welcome Gary Strong from Las Vegas, Nevada. Gary, always a pleasure to see you. And Grand Bob, exactly. Not a contest. Ha 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 ha. No! Perfect. Yeah, right. It's a contest. It really is. Rodney from Holland. Nah, I was in a car accident some time ago on my shoulder. I'm sorry about that, buddy. Yeah, it is what it is. And folks, you know what? If you want to do field day, it should be a whole bunch of fun. Rodney, hey Larry, could you repeat the question of the day? Who came in late? There it is. Just as you asked for, Rodney. You're welcome. There is your question. Yeah. Steve, 2 Echo 0 X-Ray Sierra Hotel. I'd like to learn more about slow scan television. It's been on my list of things I'd like to try. They just put a brand new Kenwood radio up in the space station for slow scan TV too. Yeah. So great time to learn. Take a look at the online tools for the International Space Station when it's going to be coming over your area, Steve. Man, try it out. Have some fun. Get some images out of it. Because seriously, they just literally changed out that radio. So hope you love it. Whiskey 7 Backroads, that is Brent. Good to see you. Says hello from a back road. It's always good to see you, sir. Yeah. And he's got a brand new website too. He really does. I'll put it in the link of the description section below. So it's good to see his new stuff that he's put on for helping people in amateur radio. Martin, what would you like to learn more about in ham radio? Understanding angry hams. No kidding. No! We'll do something fun tomorrow. You'll like that. William, I'd like to learn how to shut down the power in Jacksonville for just one day.
Thank you.
Yeah, pretty much, right? Oh, boy. Yeah, he continues. No power, no RFI. LOL, my noise floor would be nominal and I would be able to work from home just once. Yeah. And why? Yeah, the noise cancellation worked. My 1026 did great, really does. But if you got RFI come from all around you, because if you're in like a commercial district or an industrial area, somewhere close to an airport, you can have a lot of noise. Just a lot of noise. That's the way it goes. Yeah, it is what it is. William says, seriously, though, I'd like to learn antenna design and modeling in depth and build a lot of antennas just for fun. And that would be cool to do. Yeah, I love antenna building too. In fact, that's part of what I've done here. On the Hextenna, my Hextenna, it had the mounting nut, this part here, was too small. It's about, if you take about a 1/4 inch off of that, so it was about right to here. So it wouldn't quite go on really strong to the tripod. So now I've doubled that and it'll go on just fine. By the way, inside of one looks just like that. That is the Alpha Hextenna and how it all works. Everything's all connected together. So you can use this as like a vertical for UHF, VHF, or you can use it as a dipole for HF. Kind of fun stuff. So I'm going to use that for field day. Looking forward to seeing how that works. Also, want a big welcome today to, where are we at? Sorry, I'm trying to catch your breath. This is a great comment. Might be the comment show. Ronnie from Holland. Well, the truth about ham radio is the more you know, the less you realize that you actually know. And that's true. That's very, very true. Profound and a good comment too. Really is. So we're grateful you guys are here today. Thank you for coming. And we are honored to have awesome mod. We have best moderators, the greatest in the whole wide world. If you know what I'm saying today.
I don't think this boy's got all his marbles. Shakes his head when he means yes, and nods when he means no.
Thank you.
There you go. Well done, Mod. I'll protect him from getting on the screen. You just get him out of here. Well done. Well done, you guys. Right on top of things. William, we really need to get Larry to implement subscriber-only chat that seems to stop that. Well, I can't do that. And the reason I can't do that, honestly, is because that makes it a social club. To me, it does. Because I want people to come in that don't know about amateur radio, that think, okay, I'd like to learn more, and then find out how. And to me, that's really important, William. It just is. That way the channel can reach more people. Otherwise, it will never grow. It'll just be subscribers. Yeah, that's just my opinion. Steve says big multiplier for QRP off grid. Yeah, it is. It is a big, but again, it's because of how QRP gets all those things, and a great antenna. Let's face it, the thing missing from field day and every other contest is a directional antenna, because it makes all the difference in the world. Can you imagine running 100 watts and a directional antenna versus some guy with a wire in a tree? There's no comparison, really. Don't. But it's not supposed to be a contest, so we'll just leave that alone, okay?
My name is Larry.
That's the way it goes. Daniel, New Hampshire. Today's question, I'd like to get better into conning my wife into letting me buy expensive ham gear. Also, CW.
Tell me something good.
I had to play for you, Daniel. That's funny. Oh, that's good. All right, folks. We would like to help you. It is so important to me that people understand I really am passionate about people licensing up. I really did. Yesterday, Jeff in Portland, and I don't know how I misunderstood what he was saying, but I guess we just weren't communicating really well. He was saying, all these things you could do as a technician, right? And I'm thinking, okay, well, that's great, which it is. It's great. Think about it. You can contact the space station. You can work satellites. Heck, you can do VHF, UHF repeater, wires X, D-Star, all of the stuff, right? That's what VHF, UHF gives you. But you don't get HF. You don't get all the good stuff with HF. You miss it because you only get 200 kilohertz on 10 meters. And so Jeff, who is a amateur extra licensee, kind of threw me a curveball, to be honest, with saying, technician is fine, just fine enough. I just think you should go one more step. If you can't go to extra, that's okay. But at least with the general, you get the HF frequencies, right? That's the big motivating tool. You get the HF with general. I love that. Now, if you're one of the people that's a general and you want to work DX, this is what you need. You need the amateur extra license. That's what you need. And here's why. IARU Region 1 ends 40 meters at 7.2 megahertz. They have to because shortwave is past that. So they end at 7.2. So if you're a general, you only get 7.178 to 7.2. That's all you get. You don't get the rest of the band where they're working. And by the way, I know in the US it only goes to 7.128. I get it, but still from 7.128 to 7.178 is a lot of DX on 40. Plus 20 meters, you're losing on 20, and you're losing on 15, and you're losing on 80. It's really important to license up to that extra license if you want to work continents, because the IARU regions, like region 1 and 3, are very different. 80 meters ends at 3.8 megahertz. That's it. They don't go to 40. They don't go to 4.0. They don't. They just, with 20 meters it's the same, 15 it's the same, 17 is the same, but not 80, 40, and 50. Sorry, 80, 40, and there was one more in there. I just lost it again. Sorry, guys. 80, 40, 20. Yeah, no, 20 is the same. 80 and 40. So you don't get 80 and 40, and that's DX. So you could really do something special by getting the amateur extra. You can, the amateur extra. We're going to try and help you do that today. So let's take a look at a few questions that are on the amateur extra exam. This segment, courtesy of Ham Test Online, is a software that knows you. These online courses are so great. I went from 0 to extra in one sitting based on what they taught me. Ham Test Online, money back guarantee if you do not pass a test. Amateur extra licensing, we got 12 questions. Here we'll go real quick. Which of the following contacts may be confirmed with the U.S. QSL Bureau system? The answer here is contacts between a U.S. station and non-U.S. station. That's what the QSL Bureau is for. It's for managing DX calls outside the state. So if you answer the question of contacts between a non-U.S. station and a U.S. station, you will have that one right. Number 2. Which of the following is a good technique for making meteor scatter contacts? All right. Understand, you're trying to get a signal off of a very quick electric object, literally coming through the ionosphere and the stratosphere and burning up as it comes to the ground. Very short, very, very short transmissions. Very short. Okay. So the questions here, which of the following is a good technique for making meteor scatter contacts? All right. Number 1, 15-second time transmission sequences with stations alternating based on location. That's true. Absolutely. Number 2, use of special digital modes. Absolutely. Number 3, short transmissions with rapidly repeated call signs and signal reports. You got to do that too. So the answer is all of these choices are correct. Meteor scatter is such a fast-moving object that you have to work fast to do it. And all of these choices are right when you're working meteor scatter. Next, what's the most common data rate used for HF packet radio? It's always 300 baud. Just remember 300 baud. You'll get 300 baud all the way through the HF bands, really. And once you get higher, you get to, UHF, VHF, that obviously goes to change, but on HF, you're good. All right, next question. What is the effective radiated power relative to a dipole of a repeater station with 150 watts transmit power, 2 dB feed line loss, 2.2 dB duplexer loss, and a 7 dBd gain antenna? The answer on this is 286 watts. I remembered this, and the reason is weird. I know this is weird. I remembered this one by heart. It was really interesting. I just remembered 286. If I saw 150 watts and 7 dB of gain, I knew it was 286. I just memorized that. To be honest, I could tell you everything, but here's the cool part about Ham Test Online. See all the things you do below? Effective radio power, so you can get a full course about that if you're not picking it up. Also, show the formula. You can show the formula of how you get the answer. And finally, show the calculations. That's why Ham Test Online is so efficient. It really is. And it guarantees you'll pass that test. Next, what is the typical output impedance of an op amp? Op amp is very low impedance, always very low. Okay, so when you have an op amp, the impedance will be very low. Remember that, you'll have it right. How may symbol rate be increased without increasing bandwidth? This one is so easy. Here's all you have to do, okay? You just use a more efficient digital code. That's the right one. If you increase analog to digital conversion resolution, that's not what we're talking about here. We're talking about symbol rate being increased. Using forward error correction doesn't do that, and it's not impossible. If you use a more efficient digital code, you'll be able to increase your symbol rate. That's the answer. Simple to remember. Just use a more efficient digital code. All right. We've got a few hard ones on this one, and I hope you guys we'll get through this as best we can. How are the capacitors and inductors of a low-pass filter pi network arranged between the network's input and output? So they're asking how the capacitors and inductors are set up in this situation, right? All right, so the answer here is this one. Let me show you. A capacitor is connected between the input and ground. Another capacitor is connected between the output and ground. And an inductor is connected between the input and output. I memorized this one, to be honest. I did. I remembered capacitor, capacitor, inductor. That was what I did. It was weird. If I saw low pass filter pi network, I knew it was capacitor, capacitor, inductor. That's little tricks that you can use when you're taking your test. Because let's face it, you're going to take your test and you hope you pass the test, right? And then you move on. Because once you get the license, it's yours for good, unless you do something crazy on the radio. And please don't ever do something crazy on the radio. No! Not worth it. All right. What happens to a reactive power in an AC circuit that has both ideal inductors and ideal capacitors? Okay. Now, this one's really cool because you got to think about this, all right? You don't want things that are going to be dissipated as heat, right? You don't want things dissipated as heat. That's very important. So use the one that says it is dissipated in the formation of inductive and capacitance field. It's really good, and you should have it, all right? It's repeatedly exchanged between the associated magnetic and electric fields. Excuse me. This one here has the electrical and the magnetic field. And remember, our signals are electromagnetic. So if you remember that from when you have reactive power in the AC circuit that has both ideal inductors and capacitors, you will have this one correct. And that works pretty cool, right? So that's how you do it. And once you get it, you'll be good to go. That's a really easy way to be able to, get this done. Next up on here, what is a function of decimation? All right. So decimation is pretty darn simple. Think of what decimation means, okay? It is actually reducing the effective sample rate by removing samples. So you're removing the effective sample rate here by removing samples. That's what the function of decimation is. It brings it to a very simple point, okay? That's what it does. Not hard, not hard. Okay, last one. And you're going to see most likely one or two of these on your test, all right? Which point in figure E5-1 best represents the impedance of a series circuit consisting of a 300 ohm resistor and an 18 microhenry inductor at 3.05 megahertz? I'm going to be honest with you, okay? I was awful at this. I was very awful at all of this. How I did this one, and this is really weird to say, but it's the truth, all right? I knew it was 3505 megahertz, and I remembered this 3 because it was on 80 meters. That was it. So I had hit 0.3, and that was the right answer. Now, going through graphing impedance, I wasn't good at it. I really wasn't. And I had 2 of these things on my test. I had 2 of these things on my test. But because I memorized certain ways to do it, I was able to get it done. Ham Test Online. Study for your ham radio license exam from the comfort of your own home. Money back guarantee. If you don't pass, 6 months, they'll give you a shot to go all the way up to extra. And it worked. Worked for me. I'm a moron. Put me from 0 to extra in one setting. It's a wonderful software. Thanks to them for sponsoring that segment. You know, we want to grow the hobby. Also want to help people license up because that's a big jump. Extra is a big jump, but you get the DX frequencies, and that's the best part. Hayden is coming next Friday. Can you believe it? Yep, 2300 UTC from Ham Radio DX. Going to be talking to him about his YouTube channel, having a lot of fun with him. Please join us for a fun time with Victor Kilo 7 Hayden, all right? The next Saturday, July 9th at 19 UTC, meet Carlos. He's here today. Kilo Delta 9, Oscar Lima November, talking Parachute Mobile. I am so looking forward to this because what he has to do is so impressive. And I'm very much impressed with this man because he served his country bravely as well. Carlos, we're grateful to have you. Looking forward to having you join us on July the 9th, 1900 UTC. Remember, folks in Europe, it's 8 p.m. in London. Here in the States, 3 p.m. in the Eastern Time Zone, noon Pacific. In Australia, oh my gosh, it is at 4 a.m. East Coast. All right. Then July 16th at 1900 UTC, meet Kevin Zagnani of BioNO Power. He'll be answering your questions worldwide. I am really teetering on buying the 1230A. I've got the 1220A, but the 1230A will power my 7100, about 12 hours. I'd love to have that for field day. So Larry's trying not to spend a little more money here before we go to field day. I'd rather not. Jason then joins us from Ham Radio 2.0, July 30th at 1900 UTC. Kilo Charlie 5 Hotel Whiskey Bravo from Ham Radio 2.0. He'll be taking your questions live. Please join us for a fun show with Jason. And don't forget to ask him some good questions, too. And our question for today, what's something you wish you knew more about in radio? Let us know. We'll make it part of the show today. All right, let's get some music together and honor someone from the channel. Here we go. This was a recent viewer. Mohammed Zahir bin Zakaria. He comes all the way from East Malaysia. How about that? 9 Whiskey 8 Zulu Kilo. He's worked the continents of the world, Grid Squares, World Radio Friendship. Call sign 9 Whiskey 8 Zulu Kilo from East Malaysia. Here's where he's at. Isn't that beautiful? Look at this. Great map on his QRZ page. My beautiful Sarawak, Borneo Island. Oh man. There's his shack. Look at that. He's got a clean looking shack, doesn't he? And here he is. There's Muhammad looking real good, tidy, and super sharp, buddy. That is awesome. I'm so excited for him. This is really cool to honor him today. Mohammed Zahir bin Zakira, welcome. 9 Whiskey 8 Zulu Kilo from East Malaysia. It's an honor to have you on Ham Radio Live. Thank you so much for making it a better channel because you're here. That's pretty cool. I love that. It's pretty darn cool. All right, here we go. Plasma, thank you. Thank you. That's really nice. Thank you. Say I'm a great teacher. Thank you. I will always be honest with you guys. I really will. When I came to the rectangular coordinates, I didn't know. I memorized things. Little things in the question. Find ways to do that. You can really do that with Q codes. You really can. Q codes are easy. They're really easy, right? Low power, Q reduced power, right? QTH, QD home. Just little things. It's made it easy. Jenna, thanks for the compliment. Thanks. I like how Larry explains why the answer is the answer and shares some neat tricks to help you pass. For me, a lot of memorization, a lot of connecting with one with the other, and that helped. And I don't know, honestly, I don't know what the final score was of my extra test. The guys were surprised. They kept handing it back and forth. I thought I got it wrong. And because I thankfully passed the first and second, and they never see anyone do 3. And they repeat it back between the 3 of them like twice. And the guy brought it up to me, he goes, I don't know how you did it, but you passed all 3. And I said, I really did. I said, I could do all things through Christ who gives me strength. That's what I said. And the guy said, no, really, how'd you do it? I said it again. I could do all things through Christ but gives me strength. There you go. So, don't put yourself short. Please don't. Don't put yourself short. I'm not the smartest person in the world, but I really have a passion to help people to get into amateur radio because I missed out on a lot of years that I was on the DX side doing shortwave and I worked a lot of, a lot of receivers in my life, a ton of them. The radios that you get in ham radio today are so phenomenal. The receivers on their front ends are so hot. They're so different than the radios I grew up with. This is a golden age at amateur radio. Get your license upgraded, please. Do it. Because this sunspot cycle is going to be really special. And about 10 years or 15 years from now, Lord willing, we're still here, we're going to talk about this solar cycle and say, gosh, that was a great solar cycle. Get your license upgraded. It'll be well worth it, my friends. Wherever you are in the world, please do that. All right. William says, I used ham study to go to 0 to hero. And that's another one. Ham study is a good one too. Try that. Carlos loves his Bioeno. It's a good one. I love Bioeno products. I got mine right here, my 1220. I now wish I would have had the 1230, but oh well, there you go. All right, we're going to take a look here finally at the Angry Hams. We'll do our trivia, have a few short little things to show you from our Discord channel, and we'll end the show. First, let's see how the Angry Hams feel about today's show.
Why do we always come here?
I guess we'll never know.
It's like a kind of torture to have to watch the show.
Okay, at that. Jeez. Hey, it's a good game. It's 45-45. U.S. and the world, the North American continent and the world are tied, deadlocked. Okay, what's the prefix of Iraq? This is the first question, okay? And it'll be worth 5 points anywhere because there's really no one has the advantage on this. So the call sign prefix for Iraq, is it A, Yankee Kilo, B, Yankee Oscar, C, Yankee India, or D, Yankee Victoria, okay? A, B, C, or D. Let me know which one you think it is. First one gets it right for the continent. Good luck. The old prefix for Iraq. It's interesting. When you're not used to working that far, it is interesting. Really is. Andy, first one, says D, Yankee Victor. Oh, mate, you're so close. You're so close. Carlos, this is a great comment. I love this. If you get your license upgrade, you're more likely to get the Parachute Mobile QSO. Well done.
Thank you.
That's good. Thanks, Carlos. That's brilliant. That's going to be a fun show with him, man. We're going to cut it up. We're going to have a ball. I hope YouTube doesn't break. Oh, well. Steve, 2 Echo 0 X-Ray Sierra Hotel answers A, Yankee Kilo. No, not it. Eamon Azar, November 9, Sierra Echo Sierra answers A, Yankee Kilo. Not it. William in Jacksonville, November 5, Echo Victor Victor. I'm just excited. He's got it right. Yes, he does. It is Yankee India for Iraq. Well done, William. Hey. North America now with 50. But the world can catch up quickly. Yeah, okay, let's take a look. Yankee Kilo is Syria. Okay, so that's Yankee Kilo here, all right? Yankee Oscar is Romania, our friend Nikolai, where he's from. So that one's pretty easy to know, right? The next one is Yankee India, and that one is Iraq. That one's it. So if you hear a Yankee India prefix, you know you've got Iraq. Last one is Yankee Victor. That is Venezuela. So in this one here, we're looking for Iraq. It's Yankee India and William in Jacksonville. First one in with the right answer. Congratulations. Good job. That's great. Andy had D. Cliff Boltz had A. Barry Wennon was C. Winan had A. He says, nope, not A. It's C. Winan, you picked it out, but you got it. Well done. Second question of 2. Here you go. Which of the following is not a digital communications mode? Okay. Is it A, AH64? Is it B, Stenog 4197? Is it C, JT44? Or is it D, AUM-13? Which of these is not a digital communications mode? Most people are thinking, okay, FT8, Olivia, Hellschreiber, Thor, what about these? Which one is not digital? Let us know. And in the comments, first one right wins it for their continent. Good luck. Yeah, this one's kind of fun, actually. Andy New from the UK. First one in. Mike 7, Charlie Union November, and my mate on shortwave 2. Love Andy. He answers C, JT44. Nope, that is a digital communications mode. That one really is. Steve in the UK, 2 Echo 0 X-Ray Sierra Hotel, came up with A, AH64, and he got it correct. High score. Yep, tie score. It is. Yeah. Of all of these, AH64 is not a digital communications mode. Now, the cool part is wait until about a year and someone will develop a brand new communication mode, call it AH64.
Allow me to introduce myself. My name is Wile E. Coyote. Genius.
That's probably what's going to happen. Yeah. Anyway. Rodney, don't worry about it. It's okay. William got it right as well. So did Ron Walensky. Andy had C. Cliff with D. Eamon with A. And Steve, 2 Echo 0, X-Ray 0 Toho, got it right. He says, is it AH-64 a helicopter? I don't know, but Steve, you did good, and we're grateful that you did it. Well done. Tie score for tomorrow. That's good. All right. Quickly, let's move over quickly to our Discord page. All right. And I'll have a link to this. It'll be in the comment section. It'll be the very top of the comment section of this video, how you can join the conversation with us on Discord. And we have a ball, especially after the show. Lots of talk from people around the world talking radio. So if you're ready, I think I'm ready. Why don't we go ahead and let's play something fun. Let's play something fun. Let's start the music. All right. First up, congratulations to our friend Mike Robinson.
Come on, baby.
Outstanding Operator Award for POTA. Look at this. He's been selected for showing good character and representing the best example of what a POTA operator should be. Mike Robinson, Kilo 4, Union, Quebec, Papa. You did it, Mike. Congratulations. All right. Next up, here's Martin, Pop Echo 9 Tango Indy Golf. By the way, thank you guys for bailing me out by putting some photos up. I needed it. This is some of my portables. Now look at this. Okay, so he answers this, but look at the comment below from Steve. He says, only some? That's brilliant. Martin, thanks for this. It was good. Also, the Smoking Ape, bless his heart. Look at this. We are going in deep. We're going way in deep. Change the music. Yep. We're going to find out about the Smoking Ape just a little bit. We're going to hit little hidden tidbit. Little hidden tidbit into the Smoking Ape. And ladies and gentlemen, I am so excited that we're going to have this take. You guys be so doggone much fun. Wait until you see some of the stuff that this guy's got. Oh boy, it's good. It's really good. Here's his mobile rig. Isn't that gorgeous? Nice looking Yaesu, man. Seriously, that is good. And then you look at the shack. Everything's got the ICOM. Check it out. He's got the ICOM there. You see a little bit there of what looks like a power supply. He's got the auto tuner there, and he's blanked out the screen. No, he's doing some FDA. Yeah, that's what he's doing. That's okay though, because we're grateful you did. Hey, you know what, Ape? That is so cool to have that. I really mean that. Thank you very, very much for sending us stuff. It was cool to have it because we don't usually get that stuff, and grateful to get that stuff from you. It means a lot, man. So thank you. Thank you very, very much. The Smoking Ape helping lift up the radio show today. Well done, sir. Look at this. Here's his last one. Take a look. Isn't this cool? He built this. See what I mean? Brilliance. This is the brilliance of the Smoking Ape right there. Check out his YouTube channel, please. You'll be better for it. You will. You'll be so much better for it. The Smoking Ape here on YouTube. Also, the host of Coffee and Ham Radios on Saturday and Sunday mornings, okay? So he is so good. He really is. He's on at 9 a.m. Central Time. So catch Coffee and Ham Radios. Him and Tio and Jim and Chuck, they just do a great job. A new guest just about every show, and they do a really good hour and a half about radio. Coffee and Ham Radios, also the Smoking Ape here on YouTube. You can't go wrong watching all of it, seriously. Oh, Ape, thank you very much. Also, this is nice from Steve. Wanted to show this really quick. Just made my first AM QSO, Charlie Tango 1 Echo Hotel India on 14.310. Very good. Second one, he made to Italy. Look at that, AM 14286. Steve, congratulations. See, and because he's got his 50 watts now, right? He's going farther out there. Man, I'm so happy for you, Steve. I really am. It just goes to show the value of hard work and what it brings you, right? That's why I really encourage people to license up. And you can do it. Contact someone if you don't know how to get an amateur radio, right? Say, for example, you're not sure. It's good to contact a big club to find a small club near you. Or you may know of a local club. join that club. Boy, that'd be a great way to start. It really is. It's your door into amateur radio. It really is. Join us after the show as we continue the conversation on our Discord server. Find it at Ham Radio Live. It's the very first thing I'll put down in the description section. Even before the video is titled, you'll have a link to this. So please join us on Discord, all right? Also, please, if you'd like to get your amateur radio license, we'd love to help you do so. Contact the Radio Society of Great Britain. They are so good at what they do. www.rsgb.org. They're great people, great mates, and wherever you live in the entire world, they'll find you a local amateur radio club to you that's going to help you get your license and get on the air. www.rsgb.org. All right, we got a sign off today, a fun one. This is actually a radio sign off, and these are getting really increasingly rare to find. I hope you enjoy it because, like I say, radio sign offs are kind of unique, but television sign offs a lot easier to find because there's so many of them. So I hope you enjoy it. My name's Larry. My call sign, Amateur Radio's Kilo 7 Hotel November. Wherever you are in this world, God bless you. Thank you for watching Ham Radio Live. Goodbye, everybody.
This is the Columbia Broadcasting System.
Station WJSV, in cooperation with the United States Weather Bureau, will now give you the latest forecasts and weather information issued by that office. The forecasts cover a period of 36 hours beginning at 7:30 tomorrow morning. For the District of Columbia, fair, slowly rising temperature in afternoon Friday. Saturday, fair and slightly warmer, gentle northeast winds Friday. Maryland, generally fair with slowly rising temperature in the interior Friday. Saturday, fair with rising temperature. Virginia, fair Friday and Saturday, slowly rising temperature in the interior of north portion Friday, somewhat warmer Saturday. This is station WJSV, owned and operated by the Columbia Broadcasting System, with studios located in the Arrl Building at 13th and E Streets Northwest in the city of Washington, and transmitting facilities on the Mount Vernon Memorial Boulevard in Alexandria, Virginia, on property leased from the Richmond, Fredericksburg, and Potomac Railway Company. Station WJSV operates on a frequency of 1,460 kilocycles by authority of the Federal Communications Commission. Our next program will come to you at 6 o'clock tomorrow morning. The National Anthem.
Okay, class. If you're in the South, you say, "Hey, feller, give me a Bud Light."
Hey, feller, give me a Bud Light.
In New York, you say, "Hey, give me a Bud Light." You got a problem with that?
Bud Light, you got a problem with that.
In East LA, you say, "Give me a Bud Light, Holmes."
Give me a Bud Light, Holmes.
More importantly, if somebody asks you for a Bud Light, you say,